So breathing. It's a no-brainer, right? I mean, we do it all day, in and out, over and over. So how could anybody breathe wrong? Well, yeah, most of the time that's true. When we're relaxed, our autonomic nervous system repeats that cycle endlessly until we die. And we don't have to pay attention to it. But when we speak, that's when everything can go sideways, all right? Precisely because we have to do it deliberately. So tension gets in the way. And I'm not talking about some sort of metaphysical release your tension kind of thing. It's something more concrete. These are habituated tensions that we've developed through our lives that we make part of our physicality. All right. Our muscles have a memory, and it's called kinesthetic memory. All right. And it's one of the most powerful obstacles that we have to changing our physical habits as well as our speech habits. So I'll give you an example. How many of you hate it when your stomach pooches out? I mean, it's a powerful force in our society, right? Not to look like our abdomens are protruding over our belt line, right? We want to look skinny. And so what do? We suck it in. We tighten up our stomach, right? But when we do that, think about what we were talking about when we were talking about breathing with the diaphragm. When the diaphragm contracts and pushes down against all of that abdominal tissue, right? It's got to go somewhere. And if we're holding it all in, that the diaphragm pushes down and the stomach tissue can't go anywhere. So what do we end up having to do? We end up having to lift our shoulders or puff our chest out in order to get a breath. That is not what we would call proper diaphragmatic breath, because that tension gets in the way of a relaxed breath. And when that happens, what it's doing is it's interfering both with the breath strength that comes from this powerful muscle that we use all the time at the bottom of the rib cage that rises and falls, as well as the stamina and strength of support that the diaphragm gives us. So, in order to proceed with speaking properly, we really have to first focus on breathing properly. And I'd like to show you how. I'd like you to, and you can do this at night before you go to bed. You can do it in the morning when you wake up, or you can just do it in the middle of the day if you're feeling a little tense. This will help you relax a little bit. But you'll need a flat surface, and you may need a small pillow or something to sort of help stabilize your neck. But here's how it works. Go ahead and find that flat surface and lay down, all right, on your back, hands at your side. All right. And make sure your neck's supported. If you're on a hard surface, you'll notice that your body doesn't exactly lay flat at all. So bend your knees so that they're at a 90-degree angle and your feet are at a 45-degree angle to the surface you're laying on. You can also use a pillow or a bunched-up blanket to hold your knees up. Notice the way that this relaxes your lower back, allowing it to be much closer to the surface that you're on. Now place one hand on your chest and the other on your abdomen and breathe. Just relax and breathe normally. And you should notice that because we've removed the tension required to stand or sit, that your abdomen rises and falls with each breath, and your chest does not move. You inhale and your abdomen rises a little bit, and you exhale and it just falls, right? So for the next couple of days, I just want you to do this. Lay down on your back, knees bent, and breathe. After that, I'd like you to try timing your breath. So what you'll do is you'll inhale on a 4 count through your nose, and then you're going to exhale for 4 counts through your mouth, letting the breath squeeze through your lips a little bit so that you hear it. In for 4, out for 4. Inhale, but don't inhale so much that your chest heaves. If you find your chest has to move, go back to the place where it doesn't. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts. Once you're able to do this, raise the count to 8 and practice that. In for 8 counts, out for 8 counts, without engaging your chest. Bit by bit, see if you can add more breath without raising your chest. See if you can take a deeper breath without raising your chest. Now, if your chest rises very early when you're trying to inhale, just go back to the easier exercise. But the goal here is to maximize the amount of breath you can inhale without getting your chest engaged. This early work, you've got to do it because we build upon this. Everything we do in this class, we build upon. So please put in some time over the next week or two, focusing every night or every morning on your breath.